Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you do not already know, my name is Reid Nicholson, also known as Reid Your Realtor. I am a licensed real estate agent in the West Michigan area. Now, in today's video, what I wanted to talk about or give you more knowledge on is actually the market stats and the housing market, what's going on in the West Michigan area. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Let's get into it. Okay, so to start everything off, let's actually talk about how many homes are actually on the market in West Michigan. So to start that off, we have about 1.8 months of inventory left on the market. Basically what that means is if all the homes on the market that sold and nothing else came up after them, it lasts us about a month and we would be completely out. So give it 4.5 weeks and we would be completely out of homes available to buy. This is a increase actually from back in December when we were actually at about 0.8 months of inventory. And that's kind of the general theme we're seeing in the West Michigan area. We're starting to see supply increase a touch. So it's not anything major, but supply is increasing, which is ideally going to make it easier for more buyers to get better prices and purchase more homes. So with that being said, how long are these homes actually lasting on the market? Well, I have some stats here for you, and it's going to be called the cumulative days on market. Right now, where we are, the date 2022, May 2022, we have about 23 days on average of homes sitting on the market. So basically what that means is, one, that's a huge increase from back in, let's just say December to January, beginning of this year. Beginning of this year, we were sitting at about 10 to 15 days, cumulative days on market. So as you see inventory increase, you're also going to start to see the days on market for how long it takes to actually sell a home increase, because you're having a more supply. So that means that there's more homes to buy, which in turn is going to increase the amount of time it takes for those homes to actually get an accepted offer and sell. So that's the general overlay of what we're looking at with days on market in the West Michigan area. That is an average, and yeah, that's what we got going on there. Okay, so with inventory increasing, with days on market increasing, what is that actually doing to prices? Well, here's what I got for you. In West Michigan, the average sold price right now is right around $303,000. That's pretty affordable. That's that's kind of right in the first-time home buyer range. That's ideally anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. But what's the inventory increase and what is the days on market increase actually doing to those price points? It's pretty amazing. I think if you have been a buyer out there looking, you're going to really like hearing this number. The average price change that we're seeing basically from the beginning of this year till now is prices have dropped $27,601. That is huge. What we're seeing right now is a market pullback, and because of that, prices are falling down and inventory is going up, and so is the days it takes to actually get an accepted offer. That's all going into play when we talk about the average sold price that we're looking at and the average change of that sold price in the West Michigan area. And so to put that in perspective for you, percentage wise, you're looking at about a negative 5.34% price change in values in the overall West Michigan market. Again, if you're a buyer and you've been looking for anywhere from 6 months to a year up till now, you're probably starting to see that you're having a lot less competition and you're having a lot more higher chance of getting an offer accepted, which in the grand scheme of things is going to make everything better for everybody except for whatever the seller's getting on their sales price. But even then, it's still a plus for them because we may still be down 27 grand on the year, but values are still up astronomically compared to that price change. So sellers are still winning and buyers are starting to win more, and that's kind of what we're starting to see more and more in our area here. Okay, so if you're like me, you're probably a bit surprised to hear those market change values or the market kind of pulling back with that 5% change or decrease in home pricing, or the $27,000 that's decreased in home pricing. Well, the reason for that, there's plenty of factors that go into that, but I'm going to give off the main three that I believe are what's affecting our West Michigan area and actually causing a housing pricing pullback. And reason number one is going to be the increase in supply. Now, it may not be much, but any increase in supply right now is going to help immensely just because of how low inventory actually was. Number two is going to be the decrease in the amount of buyers that are actually active on the market, submitting offers and looking for homes. There's been a decrease in that as well, and that is also contributing to the values decreasing. And number three is going to be the rising interest rates. As interest rates go up, that's kind of what affects the buyers, and that's also what's going to start to ideally start pulling back or decreasing home values as well. And that's my cue to give it over to Justin. Justin's going to touch more on that and explain it all in a little bit more depth and hopefully give you a better idea of what's actually going on in our area.
Hey everybody, welcome to Reed's channel. I am the special guest host, Justin Rutkowski with Nest Mortgage, NMLS 1489431. Just wanted to give you a quick update on the market and kind of piggyback off of what Reed said earlier as far as some of the buyer fatigue that may be out there and kind of address some of the economic crisis that's potentially happening and some of what the craziness that we're seeing going on in the interest rate world right now. One of the major factors that's contributing to this market today is the lack of homes on the market that Reed alluded to earlier. So with a slight uptick in inventory, that's a good sign. But one of the things that we're seeing, there's two major factors that are making it a better time to buy right now than maybe a few months ago. Number one, the rise in interest rate has priced a lot of buyers out of the market. And what I mean by that is back in January, with rates being in the 3 to 4% range, buyers were able to afford more house for their money. So, for example, a $200,000 mortgage with a 3% interest rate is going to be much more affordable than a $200,000 mortgage with a 5% interest rate, or a $150,000 mortgage with a 6% interest rate. Another factor contributing to this is that there's a lot of buyer fatigue out there, and if you've tried to buy a house in the last 6 to 12 months, I understand that it's frustrating. I really do. There's two things in this real estate market that are really hard to compete with. The two C's, I call them. Number one, cash. Cash offers are tough to compete with, but if you're working with a good lender, you can make that happen and potentially win offers over cash offers. And number two, crazy. You can't compete with crazy. Sometimes when you see a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house going for $500,000, it is what it is. Sometimes there are some crazy scenarios that we're seeing out there in the market, and sometimes you have to tip your cap and move on to the next one. One of the things that we have to consider with interest rates is that they're going to go up and they're going to go down. And the thing that has most people stressing out right now is how quickly that they've gone up in such a short period of time. And if you just look at the last few months, it's been a bloodbath. There's no doubt about it. Rates have gone up incredibly fast. If you look at it though from a wider lens, if you will, rates are a little bit more on average right now than what they have been the last 10 years or so. So are rates a little bit higher than they were back in COVID? Yes, but we also have to think in the context of during COVID, interest rates were the lowest that we've ever seen in the history of our country. Will we ever get there again? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But what I can tell you is that the interest rates being a little bit higher today, it shouldn't scare you. It should be more of a, if you filter it through the lens of it being more of an average over the course of the last 10 years, we're right back to where we were in 2018. So do they seem high right now? Yes, but that shouldn't be at the forefront of your thought. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you need more information about Reed or myself, click in the link below in the description. As always, like, subscribe, and share this channel with all of your friends and family. Thanks for listening.